Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing ugly book covers. I've seen this video going around and I thought it would be fun for the same reasons that other booktubers think it's fun, because we usually talk about pretty book covers, but rarely do we talk about the book covers that we don't like or just straight up think are ugly. So the first one is Blood of the Tsars by Michael Killian, and this just looks like some horrifyingly corny romance book from the 1980s. I think it was probably published in the 1980s, which explains the cover, but nonetheless, I really do not like this cover. It makes me cringe. However, the plot sounded interesting. It is about a woman who suddenly finds out she is related to the Romanovs, and you go from there. Since there's always all those stories about Anastasia resurfacing, I thought it'd be kind of fun. Next one is The Glass Inferno by Thomas Scotia and Frank Robinson, and this one I just think is kind of boring. It's not that it's strictly speaking ugly because the colors go well together, but I mean realistically they couldn't have done something more interesting than this. This one is about a fire in a skyscraper. That's all I know. Next is Thomas Cromwell by Tracy Borman. This one is about Thomas Cromwell, who was a lawyer and an advisor to Henry VIII. I bought this one at Harrods when I was in the UK in February. Not at all because of the cover. I'm not a big fan of the cover. I recognize that there are historical paintings and this is a portrait of Cromwell, which I think is great, but at the same time I'm fairly certain there have to be better portraits of him out there that they could have put on the front. The reason I bought this one though was because I don't know much about Cromwell and I wanted to know more, and it sounded like a fun idea to buy it in Harrods. I have The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh, and this one, again, it's not strictly speaking ugly, but it's uglier than the other cover. I just couldn't find the other cover when I went to buy this book, so I bought this cover instead. However, I'm thinking about eventually switching over to the other covers when I go to buy the second one. This one is a 1001 Nights retelling, I think. Next we have Firebird by Mercedes Lackey, and this one is just a little strange. Mostly it's the facial expression on this girl's face. I am not a huge fan of the cover, but as I've said before, Mercedes Lackey is basically an auto by author for me. I adore her work, regardless of what the cover looks like. I'm going to pretend that this cover just doesn't exist, and I'm gonna read the book eventually anyway. Then we have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is just an ugly cover. It's not exciting, it's completely brown except for the words, and it looks like his face is stretching, elongating, and that's just not particularly nice to me at all. What I want is the white and blue and black one set that is going around. I think it's the British version. Whatever it is, I want the other ones. So again, at some point I will go and buy that set, but this was cheap. And the last one is The Taste of Blood Wine by Frida Warrington. First of all, I've read this book and this is just a very strange book. Second of all, this cover is off-putting. It doesn't tell you what the story is about unless you're more intuitive than I am when it comes to book covers, because I really wasn't sure what was going on. But this is about vampires. It's just weird, let me tell you. Again, I read this, I think the cover matches the inside as far as weirdness and not greatness go, but otherwise it's not a particularly attractive cover to me. Those are all of the books that I decided to show you that I think have ugly covers. There are several more, but I think a fair number of them are in Colorado and I didn't feel like rummaging around in my shelves to compile a list of 30. So instead, we stuck with those few. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up down below, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button down below. As always, I'll leave my Goodreads linked in the down bar if you want to check it out. But until my next video, bye!